Ladies and gentlemen, we'll begin with the next session, Revolutionizing Collaboration and Communication, AI-driven video conferencing and its impact.
Good afternoon to you all. And we are starting the panel discussion. We have our esteemed guests and panelists on the stage on the subject, the role of AI in collaborative tools, especially video conferencing, and how it is going to impact the industry. And we all know AI, artificial intelligence, is widely spoken subject all across the world in all aspects of life, and it is influencing every field of life. And of course, AV is not untouched. We are in the technology field, and AI is somehow driving our manufacturing, implementation, installation, and many other aspects of it. And of course, some people feel it is kind of very challenging to upcoming people, the subject, and it can be an opportunity, it can be a threat based on how we take it and how it is influencing our day-to-day AV work, how it is affecting our designs when we are designing the meeting rooms, boardrooms, conference rooms. So we have people with us. Mr. Abhishek Pratap Singh is from People Link, quite experienced. We have Mr. Kushal Singh from Jabra, Mr. Ashwin Desai, and other panelists. And quite a good experience on the stage. And we shall discuss the subject in length. And we have very young panelists also with us. Looks like a college pass out, of course, but he's not. He's quite seasoned player in the AI industry. And of course, the subject AI is something related to the Gen Next, which is coming, the younger generation. They are driving it. So we have that kind of representation on our stage too. So starting with, how AI is influencing. Of course, Abhishek is from manufacturing background. They have a factory in Hyderabad and installation, deployment, product across India and the globe also. I know, you're exporting also. So I would ask him the question, how AI is influencing basically the manufacturing aspects. Of course, it is a general question for all products, not only for video conferencing, how it is affecting or helping.
Thank you so much, Abdulji. So, hello everyone. I'm Abhishek Pratap Singh. I'm representing People Link Unified Communications Private Limited. We are in the business from the past 18 years, and we expertise in video collaboration solutions. So, when it comes to AI, what we have seen in the past is that AI is definitely the need of the hour, and the technology also has moved in that direction. What AI has been doing is, while for everybody it is artificial intelligence, I understand that. For us, what I feel is it has been assisted intelligence, because we always start with the fact that it is going to assist my regular operations. So it is going to automate a lot of things which otherwise I was doing in terms of collaboration. And then the intelligence comes after that. Once you have the necessary database, once you have the learning behavior built into the system, so that the system can use its intelligence to give results. So that's what I feel is the area. As far as we are concerned, we started with the hardware, where we tried to build in a lot of AI. The devices, they started doing a lot of things on their own. However, going forward, what we have done is, to put it precisely, we have now integrated the hardware and software together, where the AI part generally is driven by the software. So that is what we are trying to do in terms of AI for the collaboration space.
Thank you, Abhishek. I would like to ask Jagjit. He is from AI software company. So in general, how AI is helping technology development, or how we should look at it. A general question is not related to any particular field or any manufacturing aspect. You being representing a software company, how it is helping you? You will have to switch on.
So basically, in simple terms, AI is just wherever humans make decisions based on historical data, AI can come into the picture. Help us make more informed decisions by giving us and providing data. Like how Sir is into manufacturing of AV systems. So we are building products which can measure the input and try to reduce the input while giving the same output in industries. And moreover, in artificial intelligence, what we are doing, we work extensively with the government. So we go and seek out problem statements, try to find where we can fit in AI, how we can empower government with AI. And that's why we have developed solutions like called voice agents for Maharashtra Cyber Police's helpline. Its name is ASHA, Assistance Support for Artificial Intelligence Support for Help and Assistance, which we had the honors to be, our team was felicitated by Honorable Chief Minister for the product, and the product itself was inaugurated by him. Moreover, we are also going into the recruitment process, where AI will take care of screening applications. It will take care of also the interviewing all those candidates and giving us report cards on basis of which we can make informed decisions on the recruitment part as well. So these are just a few examples where we are right now automating and helping companies integrate AI into their daily systems.
So basically, AI is helping us in every aspect of life, as we discussed. It is not only like, the repetitive job that human used to do, the laborious job, so machine is taking care of that. And secondly, like, the work that we used to take months and weeks and days now can be done in minutes. So this is how our efficiency and productivity is increasing. I will move to Mr. Manikandan. He represents Poly, which is HP now. So we have been using video conferencing for years, okay? So in last 3-4 years, we have seen lot of development, lot of changes in terms of video conferencing and collaboration. Can you throw some light on this subject, like how Poly or HP or your experience, that the transition of the conventional versus today is what we have?
Okay. Hello. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So my name is Manikandan and I'm part of HP. And in HP, I drive the Poly portfolio, which is predominantly the video conferencing, right? Now, just if you take a step back 5 years before, I would say before COVID, right? The cloud conferencing was not that popular. We have seen that after COVID, in a month, the Zoom, the Teams, and the WebEx all went high in terms of utilization, right? Now, what changed fundamentally here is many people started using cloud-based collaboration tools, right? At that time, whatever the hardware which were built earlier were becoming irrelevant because everything is moving towards cloud, right? Now, in HP, what we believe in is we believe that not everything should be driven from cloud. Something has to be done at the edge as well, right? Then the reason for that is simple. If you see from an end user experience perspective, assume if you're going to drive all this AI from a cloud, right? Now the world is not homogeneous, it's heterogeneous, right? Now assume today morning, I have my Teams app, I got a Teams invite, I joined a Teams call, and what happens, the AI have some intelligence built into it. So assume it has some way of focusing onto people and things like that. I get a different experience. In the afternoon, I join a Zoom call. What happens? Zoom will have a different way of doing it. What it will impact is the end user will start getting different experience depending on which platform he is joining. What we do there differently is we have built something called as Directory AI, which is our own AI into the end device, irrespective of whichever platform you're joining. Your end user experience is kept the same in terms of the framing of participants, in terms of audio technology, in terms of avoiding unwanted noises in the meeting. That is what we do from an AI perspective. So we believe in that a lot of intelligence has to be built on the edge as well. It's not everything driven from the cloud. And particularly whatever is going to impact the end user, it should be more controlled by the end device because then your user experience is always consistent. So that is what I believe what is that we are doing all this now. Obviously, there are a lot of more things coming up in terms of the meeting notes, annotations, and things like that. Future is more from the cloud, I agree with it, but you need the device to have a lot of intelligence and interoperability.
Thank you, Maniji. I will ask Kaushal about earlier days, like maybe if I take COVID as an era changing thing. So milestone. So before COVID, if I see companies were reluctant going on cloud, and there were of course Polys and Cisco's end-to-end encryption, and then banks, they were a lot of security risks. People were not ready to move on cloud solutions, and then all of a sudden everyone had to move on cloud-based solution. Even the education segment, which was very reluctant coming on technology platforms, had to do their classrooms and classes hybrid, and online classes, everything went online. So how do you see this difference, where everything was end-to-end encrypted, nobody was ready to move on cloud, and then the era changes?
Abdul, in fact, from my perspective, 5 years back, we were kind of, the industry was using codec-based collaboration tools, and yes, they were encrypted, and they were very nicely encrypted. All of a sudden, the pandemic, everybody was forced to work from home. What happened? We still wanted to collaborate. People have to collaborate to be productive, to generate business, to deliver the activities that they are doing, right? So people moved into home, but still the need for collaboration was there. Now, I vaguely remember, my earlier days, when I used to talk to customers, they were talking about, shifting onto data centers, having DC, DR, and, all those things. All of a sudden, people were forced to move to the cloud. Forced. I would rather use the word forced to move to the cloud, primarily for the reason that they wanted the people to be productive. The show must go on. The people have to collaborate with each other, and the easier way was to shift over to the software-based UC platform. And there were platforms which are available. And that's one of the reasons why people shifted over. That also brings another important aspect of shifting to the cloud. People were reluctant in terms of the cloud security earlier. Cloud was thought to be vulnerable. It is vulnerable at this point of time also, but there's a lot of activity which has happened in terms of making it secure. So that's one of the reasons why things have shifted, and the penetration has increased times just because shifting over to the cloud. Earlier we used to walk into the room. If you had to do the meetings, either it has to be, it has to be coordinated, point to point. I book the meeting room, you have to be there, you have to have the same, you should have the IP address, you should have the same room available. There's a lot of coordination required. Now, you don't need that. All you have to do is just go into your UC platform, whichever you are using, and then if you are in your friend list, just click and have a call. It has become as simple as that.
Thank you. Ashwinji, I would like to ask you one question. Echo cancellation, AEC, and echo audio fencing, look at me buttons, if you remember the old days. So how this has been shifted now? We used to talk a lot about all those features, but very rarely client used to understand what it is. And suddenly they have become conscious about it and started all these questions. So how do you see this change?
Yeah, so good afternoon. Thanks, Abdul. The idea of, I come from a user experience side of video collaboration. So I would put it in different aspects, whether these technical features are required in a particular application. Like it could be a classroom which is different, in a healthcare situation it could be different. In an enterprise room where the conference rooms or huddle rooms are there, yes, the need for audio fencing and all is still there, and there are cameras which come built in with these features, but with an add-on of AI. So once you capture a particular area of the particular room, and then when you go back, it automatically gets into that system because it stores a lot of data based on the usage pattern which has happened for quite few meetings. So this is coming from a technology perspective on the audio fencing. Now coming to look at me buttons and all, a lot of advancements have happened, and auto tracking and multiple camera tracking, so many features have come in. So the integrations have also become simple now. And in fact, for system integrators, there are AI-based software which can give you a definitive, component list of BOQ prepared ready for if you give it the room size and the picture of the room and all. So things are happening using AI software for both the integrators as well as for the users. From the user perspective, I think if we are looking at enterprise, you can define that into three angles, right? One is in terms of pre-meeting experience, second is in-meeting experience, and the third one is the post-meeting experience. So how do you elevate these experiences for customers, end customers in the enterprise segment? So pre-meeting, of course, we have a lot of softwares which are again adding AI into it. For example, meeting schedulers and all, which are now adding on with generative AI to give you so much of information so that the scheduling is easy. Things are arranged in the meeting room quite fast. You don't have to manually do anything. It's based on certain parameters which have already been used. And the kind of users who are already there, based on that, it also suggests what should be the prime angle to this particular conference room or for this particular huddle room. In meeting experience, yes, as I mentioned, there are a lot of this audio fencing, tracking cameras, which have come in, giving experience for the users to a easy operational this one, so that they focus on the meetings rather than work on executing or managing the meetings, right? Managing the technology part of it. So in that again, of course, tracking and all is important, but then post-meeting experience is where AI is playing a major role today. So you do that meeting and then you have all the recordings and it's deciphered, it's, I mean, you can see in Teams and Zooms and all, of course, and there are lots of Indian companies which are working on this. A lot of software which have come up within India. And there are then translation services, software based on Amazon and other AWS ready algorithms which are already there. Okay. And translation services over a video conference also is now started happening. And these meetings are then captured and sent as a email to respective participants. But beyond that, it actually not just the content of the meeting, but it actually defines what the purpose of the meeting was, to concluding what happened exactly in the meeting with a crisp notes, right? Great. So it is not a full lengthy minutes of the meeting, but crisp notes of the meeting. Yeah. So AI is able to do that for a post-meeting experience. So this comes from that angle. If you really look into technology again from the camera for healthcare, we also represent AVICN in India as a master distributor. So AVICN has got medical cameras, medical grade cameras, which are inbuilt with AI, which actually does the, in an ICU, the patient, if he or she falls off, gives an immediate alarm to the nursing station. It's an automated AI built inside the hardware, like what Abhishek was talking about. They are trying to integrate software and hardware. So this AI software is built inside the camera. It's just a camera, regular kind of camera, but then this software is coming in. It can also do eye movement monitoring of the ICU patient, and it can actually give you a lot of insights of how the patient has, managed for the last 2 hours or so, and that information goes to the doctors. It's all automated, a complete integrated platform which is possible. Okay. So these kind of AI software features are getting added on to the hardware to give a better experience, whether it is in education or a healthcare or an enterprise segment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us in detail about how AI or VC experience can be with the help of AI. Of course, we have divided into pre-meeting, during meeting and post-meeting. So we talk about pre-meeting to Abhishek, how AI can help us, scheduling a meeting, what can happen with, with the help of AI, how can our experience be better, booking a meeting. Yes, of course, we see a lot of people who are investing a lot of time, or rather I should say wasting a lot of time arranging for meeting connections and meeting IDs, and then some facility engineer needs to be there. And now we are in an era where with a single click we connect and we get a lot of things. So how pre-meeting is being addressed by with the help of AI? What if you can throw some light on this?
So when we talk about pre-meeting is basically before the meeting, all the activities which go through for an organization to fix that particular meeting. So that comes with scheduling. That also comes with the formation of an agenda, that what exactly is going to be an agenda point of it. What people are right now doing is using AI, people are able to identify based on the past experience that what time of the day the room availability is the best. What is the kind of an organizational meetings which are going on? That's like one input which can give you the possibility of getting a free room, which is a major challenge with the organizations. Apart from that, people are also getting into a phase where you can also identify the people who are going to be part of that meeting. You have every individual has got a persona. So the persona mapping also ensures giving the direction to that particular meeting. Because ultimately what happens is in a meeting, we would end up spending a lot of time. But if it is an internal meeting where you have the respondents or the participants of that meeting who are part of that organization, the persona-based mapping is something which is a possibility. It could also give you the challenges which you could face when you are talking about a particular agenda. When you know the agenda, you could also come up with possible scenarios and the best possible scenario which should be discussed in order to get the final achievement. So these are certain things which are there. As far as the meeting agenda is concerned, by just looking at the meeting agenda, the systems could now trigger what kind of a room or what kind of infrastructure is needed for this to be done. So rather than we getting into the hassle, the systems can now tell that for this specific meeting, since you are only these many people, it is much better that you go for room A, which is conducive for these discussions. Apart from that, the technology also works on availability of rooms. So if there is a bigger room which is available and you have a smaller set of people, the technology which Ashwinji also talked about, that the cameras have got that necessary inputs where the camera will automatically detect the person who is talking, or if in a bigger room, if there's only one or two people sitting, the cameras are intelligent enough that you don't have to figure out or run with your remote. The technology will make sure that only those two people are focused. The audio systems also get concentrated around that so that we are not, wasting a lot of resources. So those are the kind of things which are possible in terms of getting the pre-meeting setup done.
Thank you, Abhishek. I would like to ask Jagjit how AI can help, enhancing our experience post-meeting, MOM and getting the summary of the meetings and those things which are lot of tedious work, and people miss some points and then they don't know who has spoken, whether decision has been made or not. So those kind of things are also possible. Yes, software integration can help post-meeting experiences, and which is a lot actually. So if you can talk about it.
Yes, definitely. So as Kaushal sir and Manikandan sir rightly pointed out, that because of COVID, now video conferencing has really become indispensable. And personally, in my opinion, I feel one of the best advantages it has given us is that now I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing down. I just have to present myself from here. So it doesn't matter what trousers I'm wearing, what shoes I'm wearing, pretty good. But with AI now recently the CEO of Zoom, Eric Yuan, he gave a quarter earnings meeting where it was his AI avatar. It wasn't him who was recording the video. So I feel when this technology decentralizes, industry veterans like us, we can exclude ourselves from such mundane meetings which are necessary but does not affect the bottom line. We can focus on meetings which actually affect the bottom line. We can make better decisions and allocate our time and resources to better things. And regarding post-meeting and minutes of meeting, I feel there are a lot of technologies in even our company, including our company. We are doing a lot of things making, as I told you earlier, we are making reports. The same tech can be used for recording minutes of meeting. I can see, in fact, even an iPhone right now, you can just make memos and you can do live transcription on your notes. So I think this technology would really help us, and not just record those meetings, also analyze what can happen. So there is this startup in 2024 which was started called as Neo Sapiens. They created a wearable device which will actually record all your conversations and create individual threads, like what conversation I'm having with Abdul sir, what conversation I'm having with Kaushal sir, all are recorded, and it creates individual threads with those people. And I can actually ask for their insights, and I can brainstorm with him, the AI call agent. Like what can come out of this meeting? What are the important key points? Can you web search about this? So this is really going to transform the way we look at meetings altogether.
Thank you. A lot can be done, like, for enhancing our experiences post-meeting, and a lot of work which is manual can be automated and auto-generated, and which can be very accurate. A lot of things, like, during meeting is very important, especially if you have large deployment, number of meeting rooms, different type of meeting room. As Abhishek said, like, selecting the appropriate meeting room based on your team member size is also a challenge. So I would like to ask Kaushal, how Jabra is, like, enhancing the, during the experience meeting, during the meeting, how you are enhancing the experience. What are the features, like, you are offering, of course, like, in subject AI.
So during the meeting, that's one of the most important phase of a meeting. I mean, that's where you actually take decisions. It's very important that, number one, every person needs to be felt inclusive. What happened? By the way, before I really move into that, Jagjit, you might like to put something down when you get into a online meeting. It makes sense. I've seen situations where during meeting incident do happen. So coming back to the point, during meeting, number one, everyone needs to be felt inclusive. That's the prime important. A data which we conducted some time back, still the face-to-face meeting remains the best mode of communication. You meet somebody in person is the best way of collaborating. But what is the next best way? It's video. And when we talk about video, if during a meeting, if you are not visible onto the other side, there could be 5 or 7 participants on a table, and if somehow camera is not able to capture that, you are lost. That's number one. Number two, when I speak, if the device is able to pinpoint on me, and that's where the point comes as the look at me button. We were trying those technology earlier also, but that was more of a manual, where somebody had to stand up, push the button, and the camera would track to you. Now with AI, what has happened is it automatically detects you, who is the speaker, and then puts you at the center of the frame. Number three, you don't want to miss everyone. So everybody is seen onto the other side, everybody is present. The very critical aspect in this audio video is the audio portion. Because when I talk about audio, why am I stressing upon audio? Because your AI is currently based on audio inputs at this given point of time in particular meeting room scenario. Now when I say transcript, during the meeting, transcription, translation, everything is related to audio. Now, if the device is not able to capture the right audio or the right words, the outcome could be very difficult or different altogether. So, we need to look at the devices which has a very good performance on the audio side. Number two, we have to have the devices which are having edge processing, which Abhishek also pointed out and which Ashwin also pointed out. Now, edge processing is important because it will remove the hurdles between the device and the cloud. That's number one in terms of shortening the gap because of latency, bandwidth. There could be multiple factors, right? And the device should be capable to do it on its own. It should be intelligent enough to handle these situations on its own rather than moving to the cloud. Another angle to it is during meeting, let's say if I'm doing a personal one-on-one meeting or probably taking a call from my house, right? Just imaginary situation. I might take a call from my house and I need to switch on my video. What happens? The video is going all the way to the cloud and then, going on to the other side. This is UC platform. Now, it has a security risk here in terms of people seeing your house, or probably if somebody not with a great intention would know things about your house, which you would obviously not want to show that, right? And that's where the background blur or the background, image has come into picture. What is required at this point of time is everything is happening at the cloud level. Now the devices should be able to have the background blur or background blocked at the device level itself, at the edge level itself, so that nothing what you don't want to show goes out. So that is a key during the meeting.
Further to it, you spoke about audio. I will ask Manikandanji, I've seen some products from Poly, wherein it is extremely noisy environment, like how we are sitting now, and whatever we are speaking in certain area is only being captured and being sent to the far end. It is audio fencing so strong that somebody is making huge noise just outside your pre-marked area, and it is not being heard on the other side. So what other features that you have, you want to talk about AI that is adding to our VC conferencing in terms of video and audio?
So I'll just add a couple of things more to it. So if you really see, when you talk about video conferencing in a room, ideally the best way to is have some videographer like this who knows whom have to be focused at that time, right? Focus on him, and an audio which picks up, which gives the mic wherever it's required to augment my sound, right? This exactly what this nowadays the AI device does, right? It actually knows who is speaking, you focus on that, right? And assume there are 5-6 people in the room, we call it something called as meeting equality. See, many times what happens we have seen is if you're on a Zoom call or a Teams call, the people remotely always fail that they are not in the meeting because the meeting is hijacked by the people who are in the room. Or you have a camera which actually focus on to everybody, and if I'm sitting at home, I don't know who's talking, right? Now that is where this meeting equality comes into picture. We have something called as, if we all are sitting, for example, and I want to know when I'm talking, what is the expression on your face or somebody else's face, right? It actually up close give a shot of everybody to the far end so that they know when Ashwin is saying something, how Mani is reacting to it, right? So that is one thing which we do. And since you talked about the audio, in any video conferencing, right, the very important part is audio. People can stand a bad video, nobody can stand a bad audio in any calls, right? Now what we do, that's where this capability comes in it. We can define the zone of interest in the room. The audio from that zone only will capture. Just for example, there is a hallway next to your conference room. People are walking, making noise and things like that. You can define that in this room only till this area, the audio should be picked up. So if you even do a birthday celebration on the other side, you clap, you cut cake and all, those audio will not go to the far end, while in the room you will hear because you are locally here. The next thing is the normal noise in a room is when you're on anybody on a full day or a long video call, we always hear this, one person will be talking, all the other rooms are there. At one point the speaker says, guys, if you're not talking, please mute, right? Or the reason is, in that room somebody is typing on a keyboard, somebody is coming and keeping a coffee mug, or there is a bad AC which is making a noise which is irritating the meeting. Now, nowadays our device or any device has those AI which filter out non-human voice from the meeting. For example, if nobody is talking and somebody typing on the keyboard, that noise will not impact the meeting for others, while in the room you will hear it, but for the far end. So these are the things which AI does to ensure that your end user experience is good in meeting.
Ashwinji, when we talk about large campuses, number of meeting rooms, number of video conferencing devices, all based on the room size and the type of the room, sometimes it is nightmare for the facility management to maintain all this equipment, to check the health of the equipment, what is working, what is not working. A lot of complaints from the users. So that is also affecting, like, functioning or the experience of the entire corporate enterprise. So what are the added features or AI is providing in this domain? What are the facility or help that AI can do?
Yeah, so I think this has been quite a long time in the industry with the cameras, where there is a centralized management system. But primarily, I think most of the cameras from Poly, Cisco, and all used to come with that. Now, in fact, we also have a manufacturing unit about 30 kilometers away from Madurai. So where these cameras are, of course, hardware-based, but then we are also trying to develop the centralized management system for the Make in India cameras. So managing that, troubleshooting centrally for large deployments is already a thing in the pipe. I mean, it's already there, but we are also trying. I'm sure people would also be looking at these kind of softwares to get added on. Now, with that software in place, how do you have AI enabled to really make decisions for the system admin, because he's the one who's going to be receiving calls from everywhere. So how do you make it presumptive challenges which will come up, so AI can give that kind of information so that it can be controlled pretty easily. So this is a primary thing. I think it will evolve slowly to a better aspect once the data is more and more accumulated out there, in terms of the management, in terms of the faults which are happening in what kinds of faults. Like it's now the support which we are extending from as an OEM or as a distributor, which will happen within a large deployment from the system admin space himself, because he will be able to get a lot of inputs, auto-generated, from the data which has been collected. So one more thing which I wanted to add was on the look at me, this one, from our experience, right? So in 2005, we did a project in SP Jain management. Of course, we did only a POC, SP Jain Institute here, where they wanted to have a virtual classroom because lecturers' availability was a challenge. So one room lecturer with 45 students, in another room, another 45 students sitting there wanted to listen to this. Now, after the POC was done, they asked the other classroom where the physical lecturer was not there, what do you find about it? So their response was, I also want to see the student who is asking the question in the other classroom. Now, in 2005, we didn't have anything except look at me microphones and, clicking on the button, and then there's a video controller which pushes the camera to look at the student who is sitting in within the other classroom. Now it's become so easy, right? The reason for the students asking that kind of questions was, of course, they were paying 8 lakhs a year in 2005. So they wanted all the facilities out there. Now, if you really look at it, it's become so simple, affordable for any educational institutions to put it. We have done a 120 classroom in Karnataka University, but it's all auto-tracking. Both students and teachers are all tracked automatically. Whoever is student is asking a question, it automatically gets transmitted. So that's a kind of difference the technology has come up with, as far as look at me is concerned.
Kaushal, I would like to ask you the same question about facility. The admin who has to maintain those many systems. Still, like, even if the system is centralized, he has to pay attention to so many windows, so many things. So do you have, like, I have seen some Jabra units which have a centralized firmware upgrade automatically, like while you are sleeping at home, your system is online, a new firmware is available and it is getting automatically upgraded. What other things like AI can do for maintaining those kind of units?
Okay. So at this point of time, we have multiple products here, which customers can choose from to deploy in their environment. The most important aspect, what you rightly highlighted, is in terms of the management of these devices, right? It's not that just deploy and then leave it. The important aspect is how do people use it? What is the type of usage that is coming out from the device? There could be a possibility that or a boardroom is being used by a single person, right? Now, probably it's a waste of resource. There could be a instance that probably they could be asked to move to a smaller room, right? And then use the boardroom for the right purposes. So we have the product which can do multi-layer monitoring, and then in terms of management. Now, when I talk about an organization, they could be spread across the world. You can't, let's say, update a equipment, go physically one place, update move to another place, update. It's a labor incentive task, right? So now this management platform will monitor the devices in terms of their health, in terms of the firmware update, and then in terms if there is a new feature which comes in, it will push it across. Now, interesting part is there could be very high sensitive devices or probably high sensitive rooms which might be used by the top leaders, and you don't want to mess around with that because a new firmware update could lead to a malfunction or misbehavior, right? In that case, you could do that selection that we will keep that device on n-1 and then rest all the devices get updated. So those features are very much available, and very shortly, it will get more deeper into it in terms of adding more value for the customers, that how better they can use it. Intent is to make the IT or the admin person, whosoever is managing the devices, intent is to keep the device uptime as high as possible. That's number one. And then make their life easier with the help of AI.
Thank you. To our audience, like whatever we were speaking right now or whatever we have listened from our esteemed panelists is everything which is existing now. So in our next discussion, I will take the discussion to the future of AV or collaborative tools. So of course, like, AI has helped largely, like, the way we used to look at our collaborations and VCs. Now, like, very exciting to know, like, what the future will bring it to. So starting with Mr. Abhishek, like, how do you see, like, of course, you are into manufacturing and you might be implementing a lot of things. You might be discussing a lot of things which can be implemented in the collaborations. So what is that?
So future definitely looks bright, exciting, and it is going to revolutionize the technology. It is going to change how exactly we collaborate with each other. So if I just broadly put forward things which are there meant for the future, the AI avatars which you talked about, that's something which is absolutely there. There are a lot of people who are now working towards, I think Google has also announced this, that they're working towards a 2D to 3D kind of a collaboration. So where your entire background, everything gets managed that way. Apart from that, people are also getting into, as I think we rightly discussed, that the best form of communication is a physical communication that we do face to face. The next best is the video. So if we just talk about that, a lot of non-verbal cues which are generally part of a collaboration are also getting captured by the technology. So rather than just having a person in super high resolution, they are also looking at the gestures, also looking at the emotions. There are a lot of softwares where we are working on towards looking at the interest level of an individual. By looking at the face, by looking at a lot of non-verbal cues, a lot of data can be inferred. So that is where the technology is moving forward. And I'm sure that based on all these data, based on the past persona mapping, based on what you have spoken in the conference, and based on how exactly people have reacted to it, we would be getting a lot of data inputs. So post meetings, the MOMs are going to be way more interesting. They are going to be way more targeted. They are going to be way more specific in nature. That's what I feel.
I would like to ask the same question to Ashwinji, like, how the future looks like.
Generally speaking about video conferencing future, I think there's a lot of things happening, as he rightly pointed out about 3D video conferencing, right? So every large company is trying to work on it. The lowest form of it is the Avatar, Microsoft Mesh, which is now is part of Microsoft Teams itself. So you can just click on it and you create your own avatars and that's transmitted. And Microsoft has also come out with another solution, which is virtual cube, where it is, if you really look at it, it's like being there. Even though you are different offices across different parts of the world, you feel like you are being there, and it's coming in 3 different aspects currently. The other one is about, of course, Logitech, which project Ghost, which they came out with. It's very using the same existing hardware cameras. They still have kind of the infrastructure which is changed to give you a virtual feeling. So that's again a kind of effective video collaboration which is happening. And of course, as you were pointing out, Google just launched the Beam, in fact, and it is tied up with HP to roll out the first Beam 3D virtual booths. I think by end of this year, HP is planning to launch. I'm sure Unnikrishnan will be able to add more on that.
Yeah, man.
So that's Google Beam which has come out. So likewise, I think all major companies are getting involved with the 3D based. In fact, Cisco WebEx has come out with the AR VR virtual headset based 3D video conferencing, right? And everywhere AI is involved because in the Google Beam solution, actually it uses some 6 cameras, and the videos which are captured or the images which are captured are interpolated using AI and gives you a 3D image of that person out there on the opposite side. So AI is anyway involved in any kind of software which are doing, whether it is related to image processing or analytics. And that's how I think the world is moving towards kind of a real-time experience, the closest being there, right? Holopotation, I think you might have seen Proto, which is of course one way, but then it's now becoming popular. Tomorrow might be you'll be able to see holograms having an interactive feature as well, like in a video collaboration space. It's
Correct. You said 3D and real-time meetings. That is, we are trying to bring the meetings as close to as physical meeting because that remains the best form. Yes. I will ask Manikandan, what HP is bringing, in terms of 3D.
So we just talked about it. So with Google, we are having that exclusive partnership, wherein to bring this, I would say, experience as if you are sitting across me, right? So this is something which has been worked for last 2 years, right? And we are going to launch soon. In that, the complete AI capability is going to be from Google, right? But all the hardware. So basically, our hardware is blend with the global cloud to give that kind of an experience. So that's what we are doing with Google for that immersive experience. The telepresence which you used to hear, but telepresence was not really immersive. So this is going to take it to the next level. So that's one thing which we are doing with Google. Other than that, we are also thinking that it is going to be like, for example, in a typical conference room, already those are already available and many more enhancement will come. For example, if we both are sitting across the table, right, and there is a camera which is sitting on the front, and what happens when we talk to each other, the far end sees our side face, right? So that's where the center of the room camera which comes in, which ensures that which is the best shot for the far end to go. Like, for example, the way we cover a cricket match, there are multiple cameras in the room, and the cameras has that intelligence to decide which shot is best to send to the far end so they get a better experience of the meeting. So those are the things which are going to change a lot, which overall improve the end user experience.
Jakshit, I would like to, you want to add something?
just to add, these kind of solutions are actually creating eye contact, even though I am looking like this, but then the cameras which are captured and the software makes it possible to create a eye contact experience.
Correct. Jakshit, you have spoken about avatar. So how do you see the future of video conferencing with the help of AI, the virtual meetings or maybe holograms talking to each other? Or
Correct. I think everyone here has talked about all of these points have been covered, but still there is one more interesting update, which was that hand signs are being live translated. So now there is no need for an actual physical translator to be there to translate hand signs to us. Okay. And there I feel that as we emphasized on the audio quality, I think video quality would be equally important when it comes to those cases. Though such cases are rare, I think it would help them a lot. And in general, I feel that AI agents are going to be the next big thing which are going to be adopted by all of us. Billion-dollar companies could be run just by a handful of people. Well, all other employees are just AI agents. It's like discovering an entire new population, 1 billion people who are as intelligent as PhD level in all subjects and who can work 24/7 at a fraction of cost. So I feel AI agents is also going to somehow, and it is, honestly, it is very difficult to predict how much it is going to disrupt. Because this technology is very new. It is as good as trying to predict the stock market, I feel.
Okay. I would like to ask the same question to Kaushal, how future looks like.
So, very clearly the future is very interesting. And why I say that? We have reached a place where the devices are able to do the transcript, translate, and create a minutes of meet. The MOMs are so crisp that it will come out as deliverables that the gentleman has to do this, X gentleman will do that. That's as clear. Now, another important aspect that I would want into this into this is emotions. Now, when I talk about emotion, right? While we talk about seeing each other, talking to each other, but a frowning and a smiling makes a whole lot of a difference, and that has to come into the entire the device, that it should be able to pop up at the local side, that okay, you need to give a little smile, might not be that might not look that good on the other side, right? So emotions should come into picture. It has already come into lot many aspects. That's number one. Number two, when we talk, right, there could be a instance where people get little excited, or little change in the tone, which might not be taken right onto the other side. Now, if device is capable of identifying that tone, pitch, and then able to give you the right cues at the right time during the meeting, it will make a whole lot of a difference in terms of the collaboration.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we are left with 5 minutes. I will open the session for the audience here. If you would like to ask any question to our panelists, you are you are free to ask. Okay, if there is no question, I think, okay, you have one?
Hello. My question is to Mr. Jagjit. Sir, you said your cyber, cyber crime heading. So how's AI comes into play into that? I mean, how do AI ensures law and order?
So, our Chief Minister has established a center of excellence called as Marvel, which is an AI focused trying to enhance law enforcement. Because even in crime, a lot of law enforcement analytics are to be done, a lot of research is to be done. And humans can solve cases in very less amount of time. And nowadays, we see that even in cyber crimes, in general, whatever crimes are committed, it's like 70% of those crimes are now cyber crimes. Only 30% are physical. It's almost like a $9 trillion altogether economy, you can say, which is like just for cyber. So I feel, and moreover, with respect to Maharashtra Cyber Police, what we are doing, as I told you, they receive a lot of calls for general inquiry, for complaint registry, and that is where we have developed that call agent who will pick up that call. And as Sir was saying, it also looks at sentiments, because some people, when they call they are very worried कि मेरे पैसे गायब हो गए हैं, this and all that. So our AI actually analyzes those sentiments and responds accordingly, because it can't be excited, oh wow, thank you for calling, if the person has lost money. And we are also seeing what other potential collaborations can be done with AI. It's all about research and development here. Thank you.
Thank you. With this, our time is all done and over. Thank you very much to all my panelists and the audiences for listening to such a nice topic. Thank you.